I used to believe the pitch that you run the ad, you get the impressions, and then you magically watch your business grow. So much so that when I used to work for a marketing agency, I sold it to other business owners too. And then I sat in a meeting that changed everything. I sat in on a meeting with another business owner. He wasn't getting as many form submissions on his website as he usually does. And he suspected that something may be broken, but he wasn't entirely sure. So we actually tested it with him in the room. We sent in two form submissions because the first one didn't go through. So clearly, something was broken. Our recommendation to him was to double his current email campaign so that we could catch up on lost time of his email submission form not working. And it was in that meeting that I realized that we weren't there to help other business owners. We were there to sell a service, and that's it. I also ran those ads for my own businesses because I believed in what I was selling. But the return that I got, even working on my own campaign, nothing. My return from being out in the community, networking, building real relationships with real people, that's how I turned around a failing company and I tripled its revenue. Not from Facebook ads, not by running some large expensive marketing campaign, but by building real connections. So today I want to talk about the three things that I think a lot of business gurus out there actually get wrong when it comes to small town businesses. But before that, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Kaylee, and I run small service businesses. Not ran, run. I took a failing inflatable bounce house business and I tripled its revenue by the end of our first full season. I also launched a Christmas light installation company from scratch mid-season and made 5 figures our very first season with it. And I didn't do that by using ads. I did that by building the things that make ads work. The first thing that a lot of business gurus get wrong is that they push digital ads as if it's the answer to every problem at every stage for every business. And it's not. Here's my honest take on it. Digital ads have gotten so saturated that they're like literally the glitter of the online world. And the bar to break into it, to get somebody to actually register that they've seen your ad, has gotten so high because they're everywhere. And if you don't believe me, then just tell me the last 5 ads that you saw. You can't, because you see so many of them a day that they don't register anymore. And for small town businesses that don't have mega ad spends, you're not only fighting the saturation of how many online ads there are out there, you're also fighting to send people to a place that they've never heard of, they don't trust, and they don't know exactly even what it is. And that's if your ad even converts. Half the time, people scroll through an ad and they don't even know what they saw. But let's say, for example, you also own a bounce house and you're running ads that you have bounce house rentals in southern Minnesota. Somebody sees that and they register it, but they don't remember your business because they're inundated with business names a million times a day. They just know that they specifically saw bounce houses in southern Minnesota. So they're talking with their friends later on, and one of their friends is like, we should do bounce houses for a birthday party. And they're like, yeah. So they Google bounce houses near me, and your competitor, who has an established website, who has established Google reviews, and an established presence, pops up ahead of you, and that's who they go with. So you're now not only wasting your own advertising dollars, you're actually advertising for your competitor. A second thing that I see a lot of gurus get wrong is that they tend to treat small businesses as if they're just scaled down versions of larger metros. And that's not how it works. I live in a town of about 400 people. I drive up to anywhere about 2 hours because I'm not just working out of one town, I'm working out of the surrounding area. So when it comes to advertising, when it comes to building trust, it's not the same as if you're working out of a suburb in like Minneapolis or Dallas or Chicago. It's an entirely different type of landscape when you're working in a small town because you're not just working in one small town, you're working in multiples. The type of credibility that you have to build in a small town versus in a large town is entirely different, and it's not something that money can buy you. If you were taking advice from somebody who has operated in a town that is not like yours, then you're getting advice that was never written for you. And the third thing, this gets me the most. They sell you on impressions. Here's the problem with impressions. They are measured by how many people scroll past your ad. Not looked at your ad, not registered what your ad said. They scrolled past your ad on their timeline. And here's where I ask you again. Try to recall the last 5 ads that you saw. You're not going to remember them. Nobody ever does. And if you can't, neither can your customers. Impressions mean nothing if your customers can't recall what they just saw in your ad. And this is where I don't want to say that ads are always inherently bad. But when you're working out of a small town, there is a more efficient way to operate. You can take that $500 monthly ad budget that you had, and you can apply it in so many other different ways that bring you real connections, real referrals, real business. That doesn't require you to spend hours trying to figure out the algorithm or how to actually run an ad campaign. You don't have to spend money on the courses to teach you how to get up to date with all the different codes that are out there. Because the thing is that that's going to change a million times over. But the thing that you have, if you are in a small town, is that you don't have to crack the code. You don't have to break the algorithm. You have something that is dialed in and has been around for generations. And that's your community. You just have to get involved with it. And the thing is that type of connection and that type of referral-based structure that comes from your community, that has been around for generations. It's not going to change with the next update that comes out. So if you are just starting your business for the very first time, do not waste money on monthly ad spends. Get involved with your community. That is so much better spend of your time and of your money. If you are not tapping into a natural resource that literally big towns just cannot even come close to buying, then you are not ready to spend money on ads yet. So I know what you're probably thinking at this point in the video. Okay, ads are bad, Kaylee, so what do I do? And I just wanted to clarify something because I know that I will harp on this a lot on my channel. I do not necessarily think that ads are inherently bad. I just don't think that they're step 1. So I have what I call Foundation Before Ads Framework. I know, it's not a pretty name and it's not a pretty process. It's basic and it's boring, but it's proven to work again and again and again. Not just for me, but for other business owners who have done this exact same thing. We are in the digital age, so your online presence is a must. I'm not saying that you have to come up with funny TikTok videos every single week, but what you do need to do is you need to make sure that you have a Google My Business, and you need to make sure that you are collecting reviews after every single time you have a transaction or you provide a service. People are skeptical. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of shady people out there, which means we're going to go online to check out a service before we use it most of the time. So if your service is not easily found on Google, if it does not have good reviews, people are so much less likely to actually use you. This is all my humble opinion. As somebody who has used this exact framework in her own businesses and has seen success, who has also been surrounded by other business owners for years and have seen them use similar frameworks and had similar success. If you're building something from the ground up, or if you're trying to scale something and you're wondering why the hustle just isn't quite working, then you're in the right place. Every week, I'm going to give you real strategy that you can use to scale your business from somebody who has lived and operated in a town just like yours. And if this hit different for you today, make sure that you subscribe so that you're notified the second that my next episode comes out. Every Tuesday, I'm here with exactly this strategy that's built for your town. And there's a newsletter that you can subscribe to too that goes even further into the strategy. We're going to build something better together because this is not your dad's business.